Prior to the 2010 version of Excel, the redesigned feature for creating pivot tables and pivot charts had one minor shortcoming. If the user filtered for multiple items, one couldn't see which ones they were. The drop-down list couldn't be viewed when printing the file, and there was no simple way to display the items filtered for. So in the 2010 version, Excel was updated to fix this with the addition of the feature called the slicer. The name comes from the phrase slicing and dicing the data, by the way, a term for data analysis. In this file, we're presented with a big batch of data, and we'll build a basic pivot table for it. We can start by going to the Insert tab, and in the Tables group over here, we can click the button for Pivot Table, and just go with the defaults here. Just click OK. If we then want to actually lay in the fields, we can start with, let's say, ship country, and park that over in the rows on the left. We could grab a hold of employee ID and drag that into the columns. And then finally, we can throw order amounts into the value space. So we're looking at the sum of the order amounts by employee ID and country. If I were to now put ship name, meaning name of the company, into the filter space, I can go to it just above the top of the main pivot table, click the drop down, select a company like Around the Horn, and click OK, and we get the data for Around the Horn. But if I go back up there, click the drop down again, and turn on Select Multiple Items, I can certainly check one or two other company names if I wish. But once I do that and OK out, oh, I'm getting the information for multiple items all right, but I can't see which ones, and I wouldn't be able to see it in my printout either. This is where the slicer comes in. Let me go ahead and unfilter first and turn that off, as it were, and I'll actually go ahead and remove ship name from the filter space entirely. As I said, this is where the slicer comes into play. We can add as many as we like. Sometimes it's actually helpful to have 2 or 3 of these, but we'll go with just the one for simplicity. We'll go to the Pivot Table Analyze tab here, and in the Filter group, which tells us this is indeed a filter, we can click on Insert Slicer. And again, we'll just go with ship name, check the check mark, click OK, and then we can just grab the slicer by its name and position it wherever we like. We can grab one of these white dots here, the sizing handles, and drag outward from the center to make the thing as broad and tall as we wish. And now if I again click the name of a company, I can see the data for that company without any trouble. But if I now hold down my Control key and click a couple more company names and let go of the Control key, not only can I see the data for all those companies, I can see which companies I'm filtering for. I can click another one, hold down Shift this time, click yet another, let go Shift, and once more I'm seeing the data for all the companies in question. If I actually wanted to see more company names in a not much larger slicer, I could even go up here to the Slicer tab if I wanted and jump over to the Buttons group here and change the number of columns, the number of buttons. There we go. Make the slicer a bit wider. Drag one of the sizing handles here again, we can see. And once more, click a company name, Control click a couple of the others here, let go of the Control key, or click one, hold down Shift, click another, let go Shift. Whenever I want, I can go ahead and select and reselect. But the best part of this all is that if I now go to my File tab and tell the program I want to print or PDF, go over to the second or third piece of paper in my navigator here, I can see the slicer. And more important, I can see what I'm filtering for. If later I want to unfilter, just go back to my main working space, click the Clear Filter button up here. If I want to delete the slicer entirely, just click its name and hit the Delete key on my keyboard. The slicer therefore gives us a pretty simple answer to the question, what are we filtering for? More precisely, it allows us not only an easy answer, but an interactive one, which acts as a WYSIWYG feature and lets readers of hard copy understand what they're looking at that much more easily.